take a look at this map. It shows the 9 stops Pope Francis made when he visited Washington, D.C. in 2015 for the first leg of his visit to America. The 266th leader of the Roman Catholic Church was truly the people's pope.
And that was evidenced by how he was received pretty much everywhere he went. Our John Gonzalez gives us a look back at Pope Francis's 2015 visit here to D.C.
Pope Francis was only in the D.C. area for about 48 hours, but he packed a lot in. Greeted by then-President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, the Pope received a resounding welcome at Joint Base Andrews on Tuesday, September 22nd, 2015. Pope Francis got into his tiny but now famous Fiat surrounded by a massive motorcade and was driven to the nunciature at the Vatican Embassy. Crowds lined his route, greeting him at his last stop for the day. The Pope's first full day started with a White House welcome ceremony and a meeting in the Oval Office with President Obama. Pope Francis spoke to tens of thousands of people who flocked to the White House lawn to see and hear a rare sight, the Pope speaking in English.
Climate change is a problem we can no longer be left to a future generation.
After leaving the White House, Pope Francis got into his tricked-out Pope-mobile for his very own parade. Thousands lined the National Mall to get a glimpse of the pontiff, only stopping to kiss and bless a baby or two. And then Pope Francis had a midday prayer with more than 300 U.S. bishops at St. Matthew's Cathedral. Speaking in Italian, the Pope praised the bishops for their integrity as the church ousted clergy found guilty of sex abuse. Pope Francis finished his first full day in D.C. at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, also known as America's Catholic Church. 25,000 people gathered for Mass as Pope Francis canonized Junipero Serra, a Spanish priest and missionary.
A Franciscan friar. Pope Francis took his name from Francis of Assisi, and the Latino Catholic community here in the United States is tremendously excited about it.
Mr. Speaker, the Pope of the Holy See.
On Thursday, his final day in the district, Pope Francis addressed a joint meeting of the United States Congress, becoming the first pope ever to do so. He spoke for close to an hour, touching on sensitive issues facing America, including abortion rights and immigration.
We must not be taken aback by the numbers, but rather view them as persons.
The Pope also called for an end to the death penalty and pleaded for lawmakers to look for alternatives to war. And then,
and God bless America.
In a surprise move, the Pope spoke in English to tens of thousands on the west lawn of the Capitol before visiting St. Patrick's and Catholic Charities, where the homeless, disabled, and domestic violence survivors were fed and many received blessings from the pontiff.
I think he speaks for more than just people who have a religious sense, but just really people who believe in the best of humanity.
Thursday afternoon, Pope Francis left D.C., sent off by Secretary of State John Kerry and Maryland's Governor Larry Hogan, who also got a special blessing for his fight with cancer. Dozens joined the crowd to watch the Pope's plane take off from Joint Base Andrews, headed for his next U.S. stop, New York. John Gonzalez, 7 News.
And stay with 7 News for our continuing coverage here and, of course, online. Scan the QR code on your screen, and that'll take you to our YouTube channel. We are posting updates and interviews with experts on the Pope's legacy and what happens next, from the emotional farewells to the conclave when the next Pope will be selected. We're putting it all online for you on demand. And